because that's just what's happening. We are winning.
We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. We winning. Yeah. We winning. We winning. I know they hating out here. Yeah. I know they mad. They all in their feelings. But baby, I don't care. She calling the police on me and everything. Yeah. Somebody need to get on the phone. Call my attorney. Dealing with these hard-headed hoes who ain't learned.
Salute, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. You know, we're in here. We're in here. A lot of stuff on the plate, doing a lot of things, and you know, I thought I would bring something slightly different to tonight's broadcast. I don't know if you guys, my audience is typically or mostly foundational Black Americans. So in you know, we kind of, we're not a very large group, us, but you know, we generally, you know, speak on a lot of the same things. And so we notice as a group collectively, we notice a lot of things. And I've been noticing some of these right-wing commentators explaining how politics has been affecting them lately. And I've noticed some interesting descriptions of some of the things that they are feeling, you know. And for some people that don't believe in systemic racism or systemic things in general, I'm finding that they really are understanding how to explain it. They've been doing a really good job. What's up? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Mr. Anti-American, what's popping? Yeah, there is a lot to discuss. There really is. Like, there really is a lot to discuss. I'm not even, I would like to say, I would like to be joking, but I'm really not. And quite frankly, you know, being someone that, and I mean, we're talking about Tucker Carlson, being someone that was not a huge fan of Tucker Carlson, or never really was before. It's interesting to hear him describing some of the things that's been going on. But before we do all that, you know, I was going through my Twitter, or my X feed, and I just happened to see this video, and I don't know whether it's been altered or not. This is Laura Loomer, and she's a very anti-Black, you know, pro-Canadian person. And I don't know whether this video has been altered or her face really looks like that. I don't know. I need somebody to help me.
I probably couldn't even get a job at McDonald's 10 years ago because of the way that the media viciously smeared me, trying to make it out to seem like I was.
Like, did she really?
I probably couldn't even get a job at McDonald's 10 years ago because of the way that the media viciously smeared me, trying to make it out to seem like I was some KKK member, or, you know, I was some Klansman. I probably couldn't even get a job at McDonald's 10 years ago because of the way that the media viciously smeared me, trying to make it out to seem like I was some KKK member, or.
Does she really look like that? Is that really her face? For real? That's crazy. That's crazy. This person should not be allowed to be on television. I'm just saying. She should not be allowed to be on television. Yeah, should not be. All right, well, check this out, guys. Look, before we get into the meat and potatoes, she looked like Stone. Yo, that's a fact. That is a fact. That's exactly what she looks like. Looks like one of them. What you call it heads. Before we get into the deep, I want to talk about. I don't know where a lot of you guys are from. I am from Southern California. Currently live in San Francisco, and obviously I don't know, for some of you guys that don't know, the capital of California is Sacramento, and there is a gentleman by the name of Jason Lee who created Hollywood Unlocked, decided that, and he's also, I believe, from Stockton, decided that he wanted to do his part and get into politics. And I believe Jason Lee is the deputy mayor, if I'm not mistaken. And he has jumped into Sacramento politics and has really, I don't know whether he's really trying to, force accountability. I'm not exactly sure how the story is going to go. The news articles making it seem like they're almost making it ambiguous as to who is being dishonest and where the fault lies. But it's pretty clear who is actually responsible for some of the corruption. So what I really want to do, Zest Fest in San Fran, I'll pray for you, brother. You know what, man? All right, yeah, San Francisco it has its areas that are very zesty. Yes, you're right. But there's only a handful of brothers that are left in the city, in San Francisco. There's only a handful of us left. And for the most part, we've scattered. California is like that, guys. I don't know whether you guys know this or not, but California, they've run all the black people out. Like we're in small pockets. They ran all the black people out of Compton. There's only a handful of people in Compton. Watts don't look like Watts anymore. Even Oakland is probably one of the last few bastions of black people. There's a couple of little pockets around the Bay Area where there are black people, but for the most part, the California did a really good job of really kind of chasing black folks off. So Sacramento, there's a pocket of black folks out there, and obviously, like I said, there's suburbs all around, but for the most part, there's not a huge population of black people in California anymore. But shout out to Jason Lee, because he's putting his money where his mouth is. Jason Lee plays for the other team. But again, shout out to him for putting his money where his mouth is. He's local to Sacramento. He's from Sacramento, and he ran for political office and he won. And from what it seems like he is trying to bring about some sort of change. Let's see. We doing breathing in Spanish then took over. Man. Oh man. Yeah, the Latinos, they it's a whole nother ball game. And they really don't like us. They're getting to the point now to where they don't have to hide it anymore. So, but check this out. Let's get into this news article real quick. Shout out to Jason Lee.
Function within Stockton city leadership. A planned special meeting surrounding the use of public funds is abruptly canceled, all while the mayor and vice mayor continue to feud.
Your reporter covering San Joaquin County, Charlie La Pastora, joining us now live near those council chambers. All right, Charlie, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Marley, just 2 days after Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi announced she's starting an ad hoc committee.
First of all, her name is Christina Fugazi. I'm just going to leave that there.
To hold Vice Mayor Jason Lee accountable with a litany of accusations. Vice Mayor Lee was originally planning on holding a special meeting tonight to hold Mayor Fugazi accountable. However, that meeting tonight never happened.
Mayor Fugazi is absent. At this time, we do not have a quorum.
Mayor Christina Fugazi, council member.
Fugazi. Is that not a sick joke? Is that not a sick joke? Am I tripping? All right, I don't know. Maybe it's low lying fruit. Maybe I don't know.
Michelle Padilla, Councilmember Mariela Ponce, and Councilmember Brando Villaputa didn't show up
Okay, I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to listen to all the names. Listen to the names of the people that didn't show up. Let's listen. Let's listen. Let's pay attention. Let's listen to the names of the people that didn't show up. Let's listen.
tonight. Never happened.
Mayor Fugazi is absent. At this time, we do not have a quorum.
Mayor Christina Fugazi, Councilmember Michelle Padilla,
Padilla,
Councilmember Mariela Ponce, and
Ponce,
Councilmember Brando Villaputa didn't show up.
Villaputa. Mr. Anti-American. You hear that? you hear that? Hold on, one more time.
Fugazi, Councilmember Michelle Padilla,
Padilla,
Councilmember Mariela Ponce, and
Ponce,
Councilmember Brando Villaputa didn't show up
Villaputa. Okay. All right.
to tonight's special council meeting. Vice Mayor Lee, Councilmember Mario Enriquez, and Councilmember Michael Blower did.
All of us took an oath to
Shout out to Jason Lee.
represent people of this community with integrity and respect and transparency, and most importantly, accountability. And the fact that we didn't show up and the public did speaks volumes.
The agenda on tonight's item, Vice Mayor Lee is raising concerns for misuse of funds and an alleged unauthorized letter of commitment sent by the former interim city manager to the state of California, pledging more than allegedly $800,000 in matching public funds for a grant application. Vice Mayor Lee says the letter was sent without city council approval or public discussion.
These are very serious concerns involving campaign donors, the commitment of public funds without council approval or city manager authorization, and a document that was sent to the state that I've called an instrument of fraud. We all voted to be here. 3 of us showed up, others did not, and I don't know why.
Mayor Fugazi says she had a prior commitment.
I don't know why, you know why, but shout out to Jason Lee for playing politics. I like it. That's what we got to do, guys. We got to start playing politics. Shout out to him.
For weeks, and, quote, "It is not my intention nor desire to participate in the Vice Mayor's constant attempts to take the focus off of bettering the life of our residents, reducing crime, homelessness, and bringing more resources to our city to join in his attempt to turn our city into his reality show." This all comes as Mayor Fugazi has made several accusations against Vice Mayor Lee, including questions about $85 million worth of funds used for his nonprofit, allegations of bringing camera crews into City Hall to film reality-style promotional content without getting approval, and creating a hostile work environment, allegedly verbally abusing staff. The mayor plans to create an ad hoc committee to investigate the Vice.
That sounds like a Karen, boy. That sounds like she got that Karen thing down. She's got that Karen thing all the way down.
Mayor.
Whether it's this investigation, her investigation, any investigation, there's always going to be a conclusion of the facts. Tonight, though, we robbed the public the opportunity to get those facts because people just bailed on them, and that to me is unacceptable.
Julie Dunning's lived in Stockton for around 4 decades and showed up for tonight's meeting.
It's got to be addressed at some point in time. The people have a right to know. You can agree to disagree in the end, but nothing's going to happen if you don't sit down and talk through the issues.
Now, because this meeting was canceled, it did get rescheduled to next week. That's November 12th at 6 p.m. after an already scheduled audit meeting.
Yikes. So that
you're
was
somebody who's been playing for a while, and you're
shout out to Jason Lee, man. Like I said, everybody talks a good game. Everybody talks about, getting into the politics and talks about doing X, Y, and Z. Very few people actually do the thing. And Jason Lee went ahead and did the thing. Another story I really wanted to cover. There was a gentleman, police officer that was arrested for trying to run down a young black man in Baltimore last week. And it looks as though 3 or 4 more of his buddies were just arrested. So we gonna go on ahead and talk about that. Let's see. Annie Marion said, "I can't wait till can't wait until Way pops in another country. Gonna tell them what the Spanish fight and acts like they don't know us." Man, look, it's a slippery slope. It's messed up, bro, because the thing of it is that, black folks really are the moral compass of this country. And in a lot of ways, even though everyone hates to admit it, we are the glue that holds a lot of this place together. And, when we do sit on our hands, you do feel it. I think it's been pretty clear that this last year, where I think that black folks weren't super excited to go jumping in front of protests and getting hit with rubber bullets and so on, you can tell, like you can absolutely positively tell. And so that's obviously a microcosm of the larger part. I think that us not even being involved in this country's geopolitical stance is also showing. And, I don't necessarily know that that's a good thing, but I mean, it is kind of is what it is, right? Like we can't. I don't know if there's much of anything that we can do about that. I think people are gonna have to like learn the hard way, unfortunately. Let's see. Protest. It said they protest moves saying juice. Man, like stale white bread, like old moldy milk, right? Like the protests have had zero soul. The chants are terrible. There ain't no beats or drums. Ain't nobody clapping on beat. It's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Potato salad got raisins in it. You know, it's all bad. It is all bad. All bad. Jerome said, my couch, what do you say? My couch has never been more comfortable. Bro, you know, I have been trying to just let some of it go. But stuff like this, you know, it bothers me. So we got to cover it. Here, let's listen to this really quick, and then we'll get to that Tucker Carlson thing right after this. Here we go. Let's rock.
Police officers now under criminal investigation in California, including a district commander. Fox 45's Vincent Hill is digging into the investigation tonight.
That's right. He joins us live downtown with what we learned amid several recent legal troubles facing the department. Vincent.
Well, Kai, Maxine, that news coming down earlier this afternoon. Now, the details of that investigation right now, tight-lipped by BPD, but just the latest officers being criminally charged.
Now, here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about that. Once again, whenever it's the police, they, you know, they're tight-lipped about, you know, the mug shots and what they did and what the charges are, so on and so forth. It's pretty whack, to be honest with you. But and I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about here in just a second.
Commander Major Jai Eteru, one of 4 BPD officers under criminal investigation in San Francisco, California. According to BPD's website, Eteru joined the department in 2010 and was promoted to major in 2023. While the circumstances of that investigation have yet to be released, the suspensions come as other BPD officers have been under the spotlight. Just last week, Officer Robert Parks, seen in this now viral video, appearing to try to run over a man, was indicted on second-degree attempted murder charges.
It is not what we want our officers doing. It is definitely not what we've been training them to do. And unfortunately, one bad incident like this sets you back months and years to all the progress that we've made.
Commissioner Richard Worley at the
that goes without saying, sir.
Time of that viral video.
When you have 2,050 officers, there's going to be some behavior that you don't like, and you just have to take quick and effective measures to correct it.
What do y'all think about that? Do you think it's just okay? Do you think it's just okay for them to just be like, well, some of these guys are just going to be racist bastards, and you're just, there's going to be some of that. That's just what's going to happen. Is that true? Do you guys believe that? That just like some of these folks are just going to be, the proverbial bad apples? I don't know.
On the same day,
he has not had police power since 2022.
Worley acknowledging another officer under investigation. Officer Kalman Finkelstein has been on administrative duty since 2002.
Finkelstein.
Because of federal extortion and conspiracy charges, he's accused of conspiring with State Senator Dalia Attar and her brother to extort a political consultant, allegedly
extortion.
Planting video cameras in the consultant's home, filming her having an affair. And back in
filming her having an affair.
July.
Anytime anybody is accused with sexual assault and rape of anyone, especially mine, is hideous.
BPD officer Kerlin Edwards was charged with first-degree rape, assault, and unlawfully detaining a 16-year-old girl.
What? Hold on.
BPD officer Kerlin Edwards was charged with first-degree rape, assault, and unlawfully detaining a 16-year-old girl he admitted to having a sexual relationship with.
When it's someone whose job is to do that exactly, to remove them people from the streets himself, it makes it even worse. And this is just unacceptable, and we should have the most stringent penalty possible and placed upon this person if we're able to get a conviction.
Meanwhile, as the BPD deals with an officer shortage, a half dozen of their officers now being criminally investigated.
Now, it is important to note that right now this is an investigation. We don't know of any charges for these 4 officers. We also don't know if these 4 officers are suspended with or without pay. For now, we're live at BPD headquarters. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Welcome to the broadcast, Broken Plate. How you doing, brother? It's all good.
Oh, good, man. Like I've been behind like all day today.
I ain't tripping. I am not tripping. I feel you. I've been there, done that, kind sir. Been there, done that. Yeah. These popos, man. These popos are they've been on some different type stuff lately. They've been on some different stuff lately. And I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. You know, it's funny. What's his name? There's a guy was named Bomani Jones. He's a sports commentator. I think he was on ESPN at some point, Fox Sports, one of those or whatever. And he was talking about this whole police officer bumping this guy on the football game.
Yeah.
And he made a point that I agree with. He said, how is it that all of these people are tripping and up in arms about this one thing? And he was like, these cops be shooting people in the back all the time. Just like what we're always talking about. It's like, it's funny how people have this selective outrage about the things that they want to be outraged about. So it's like, okay, so you can see the blatant disrespect and the instigating of contact with this high school kid in this in this college situation where everybody is watching and everything, but we can't like put that same situation together when it comes to like us out on the street on the side of a highway, right? It's like that had to be something wrong, and this is different. Like there's with all these cameras and all these people watching, that this just happened to be this isolated incident, and there's nothing like this going on anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so funny that people can't like connect the dots. It's strange. It's really strange. Look, let's
It's either like it has to be either mental retardation or willful blindness.
You know what?
It's not accepted either. There's no third option there.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, Broken Blade. I think you might be onto something. So Broken Blade, check this out, man. Remember I was telling you, it's just been really interesting because there's a handful of, commentators that I listen to. Obviously, I would, if I had to put myself in a bucket, I would put myself in the conservative bucket. And, so you listen to hear what some of these people are saying. And obviously we know that the Republicans are not our friend, neither are the Democrats, right? This twerp right here has absolutely gotten under my skin for a very, very, very long time. Once he started saying, talking about Canada is when they went ahead and let his ass go from Fox, Fox News. So he got his wake up call, which I find to be pretty darn interesting. And then, and so since he's gotten his wake up call, he's been a little bit more even handed with his commentary as of late. Right. So it's been a little bit more bearable to listen to. However, and I'm sure you noticed it. I'm sure the audience noticed it. Shout out to everybody in the audience, all the listeners. Do me a huge favor. If you haven't already done it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, either on your way in or on your way out. I appreciate you. But, they have these, when they look confused when you say systemic racism or these types of things, they look confused, like they don't understand what does that even mean? Right. Like, I don't even understand. Right. Like, I don't know. I mean, like judging. So I judge people by the content of their character. I mean, I don't, like, and so it's fascinated me that some of these folks have been able to pretend like they don't see what they themselves or their people have been doing to us. So it's been really interesting hearing these guys lately because, to them, it seems like they're being done wrong, right? Like the white man is being done wrong, Broken Blade. Like it's okay for you to talk smack about the white man on TV, and it's okay for you to talk smack about, and the white man is the scourge of society and whatever. And I must admit, Broken Blade, there has been some times where I'm like, man, if I was a white dude, I'd kind of be agitated too. I'd be like, who the fuck do these people think they are? Just talking to me about that. Let's see what's up with the chat.
So they finally got a little taste of what the fuck we've been talking about for centuries.
you know what? We're going to listen to this man speak, and then we're going to form our opinion, Broken Blade, because I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. You know, maybe I'm hypersensitive. Maybe I'm sensitive, and maybe I don't, or maybe I'm seeing things where there isn't. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I'm seeing like the ghosts of racism and the ghosts of systemic racism, and maybe I'm tripping. But I don't know. I'm so glad you're here that you can sit here and listen to me and listen to him, because what he's describing sounds eerily familiar. Eerily familiar. I can't quite put my finger on it. But let's hear what he's got to say. Let's hear what Tucker's got to say.
Obviously, because they can't get another, and your sympathy goes out to them. But listening to them talk day after day really didn't teach us anything. But it doesn't mean that there aren't lessons to be learned. In fact, there's one really important lesson, and this was really the reason to interview Nick Fuentes in the first place. And the lesson is that a lot of young men in America, mostly white, but not exclusively, listen to Nick Fuentes really carefully. And the lesson that our professional bettors in Washington have drawn over the past few weeks is that means they're as bad as Nick Fuentes. They're Nazis too. But of course, they're not Nazis by and large. They're just American young people. And so the question is...
Just American young people. Okay. Right? You should listen to American young people. Okay. All right. And
it's a pressing question if you care about the future of the country. Why have they been listening to Nick Fuentes? Sincerely. Like, what is this? Why aren't they listening to somebody from the Heritage Foundation or the Daily Wire? Why do they believe Nick Fuentes more than they believe the people who think they ought to have a monopoly on the attention of young conservatives? That is a really important question. And what does it say, not simply about their attitudes, but about the problems they face, the society they grew up in, the future they imagine for themselves? What does it say about all of that Fuentes is so popular among young men? After all, young men really are kind of the basis of our hope for continuing as a country. So if they're off in some direction that you don't understand, it's probably incumbent on you to try to understand it to the extent you can. You know, it's hard to understand other people's motives, and it's even harder when they're in a different generation. But making a good faith effort to figure out what is this, well, that's on us being, everyone with a job who's not in that generation.
Huh. That's a very open-minded way to look at things, Broken Blade. That's a very, right? That's very even-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me thus far. Reasonable. Yeah. Shout out to Solo Dolo. What's up, brother?
All the beneficiaries of a stronger, more coach.
He said, "What's up with the chat?" I don't know. Are they quiet? I don't know. It must be some white folks in here. YT. Shout out to all the white people. All the white folks that I know that are friends of mine. We good. We are good.
Same.
Cohesive America, the America we grew up in, which doesn't exist anymore. It's our responsibility to look at newer generations and say, what's going on with them? Can we help in any way? If we care about our country, if we care about our own families, our children and grandchildren, we probably want to do that. And it's probably not enough to call them names. It doesn't work, for one thing. It just makes whatever we claim to dislike even stronger. There's one lesson of the Trump 2015 announcement and everything that's happened since in the last 10 years. It's that. And the lesson, obviously, is that when every power center in the country declares war on you, you become a power center. It doesn't destroy you. It makes you stronger. It's certainly true for Donald Trump. Would he have become president in 2016 and 2024 if all the cool kids hadn't denounced him as a Nazi? Probably not. Would he have been reelected if the FBI hadn't raided Mar-a-Lago and gone through his wife's underwear drawer? We can debate it, but maybe not. Maybe this would be the Ron DeSantis presidency. Probably. So attacking people, particularly when you attack them ad hominem, when you don't try to deconstruct or rebut the arguments they're making, but just calling them names, Nazi, that's counterproductive.
Hey, real quick, Solo Dolo, he said it's like 2 streams. One of them is like a shorts video. Yeah, it was a new option. Which one are you getting? Can you choose? Real quick, I'm sorry I had to do that. One is subscribers mode and one is one is regular. Which one is which? I'm only both. Wait, so it's showing you both here. Hold on, let me see something real quick. How's that? Let's see. I don't know if it changed anything. Let me know. I'm curious to know. Oh, I'm on both. Okay. All right. Is it? There's a new option that they're always trying to.
Yeah, I thought one was for like computers, the other for like phones.
One definitely is. But I mean, I don't even for me though. I think if I'm watching a podcast or watching a video, I prefer to turn it landscape anyway. Just get better real estate. But that's just me. Anyways, sorry to interrupt. I just was curious to know. Let's see.
Every single time you expose yourself as hysterical and shallow, and you elevate them in the minds of everybody else. They're important enough to be yelled at by every trustee at the Heritage Foundation or whatever. They must be important. So again, it doesn't work, but it's also on a deeper level kind of immoral. It's immoral to dismiss the concerns of your countrymen as beneath consideration.
Whoa, wait a second. Hold on. It's immoral. Hold on. We got to hold on.
They must be important. So again, it doesn't work, but it's also on a deeper level kind of immoral. It's immoral to dismiss the concerns of your countrymen as beneath consideration. It's immoral to dismiss the concerns of your countrymen as beneath consideration.
Okay. All right. Your country. Okay. Noted. We're just setting the table. Just setting the table.
When they do it, it's a problem when I do it. Fuck. Been talking for centuries about the mistreatment of the police, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Philando Castile, the true original grassroots leaders of BLM.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're overreacting. Stop being a victim.
Hey, victim mentality, Broken Blade. That's a victim mentality. Shout out to New York. Hey, real quick, we can check everybody in real quick. Everybody let me know where you're from. Shout us out in the chat. Just let us know where you're from. State, city, state. You don't have to get specific. Darren Seals, exactly. Yep. Shout out to Solo Dolo. Yep. Absolutely. Let's let Tucker go, because I'm telling you, bro, he's just warming up. He is just warming up. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And like I said, I've heard quite a few of these conservatives saying these things lately. And I'm just like, note to self. You know what? I ought to talk about that. Note to self. I ought to talk about that. What's his name? Tim Pool. He's been doing a really good job of explaining racism. I told you there was one day where he described it so well. I mean, he described racism in better than I ever have in my entire life. I should have clipped it. It was the best description I've ever heard of what racism actually is. So when they pretend like they don't know, it's funny to me. But let's let Tucker continue. Shout out to Tucker Carlson though.
I don't have to listen to you.
Don't strike my video.
Because you like some guy who's got ugly views. By the way, it's not a defense of all of Fuentes' views.
Wait.
Because you like some guy who's got ugly views. By the way, it's not a defense of all of Fuentes' views. We interviewed him on the show and said it is totally immoral to hate Jews as a group, because it's totally immoral to hate any group, period. That's always wrong. But it doesn't mean that everything Fuentes says is.
Ain't that something? Okay. All right. Yep. Shout out to Chicago. Galveston. Yes, sir. Chicago. Okay. So we got a couple of Chicago brothers, New York, Galveston. Okay.
It's wrong. Not wrong. And more to the point, what he says on the air and his huge popularity, which has only increased the more these people scream at him, says a lot about the people who are listening and their legitimate concerns.
Now take that. Think about that. All the people that are listening to what's his bucket and his popularity, right? All right, just note to self, y'all.
And the factors in our society, in America and the West, that gave rise to their attitudes. Like, how did this happen? Let's, for once, in the last 20 years, look back and ask ourselves an honest question. How did this happen? Let's do what we didn't do when we withdrew from Afghanistan or declared a truce in Iraq or carted away the rubble from 9/11. We never asked, how did this happen? And no one was ever held responsible for allowing it to happen or the bad decisions that made it happen. Not one person. And so, of course, inevitably, disasters followed disasters, because if you never take the time to take responsibility for what you've done or even understand it, you're apt to repeat it. It's the most obvious observation in the world. Is the basis of good parenting. It's why you make.
Whoa, wait. Hold on. What do you say?
Disasters followed disasters, because if you never take the time to take responsibility for what you've done or even understand it, you're apt to repeat it.
Okay. All right. He's cooking. Hold on, Broken Blade. Hold on. He's okay. Yes, he's right. Carl. Yes, Tucker, you are right, brother. Okay. He's right. He is right. Yes. If you are not, let's run that back.
Because if you never take the time to take responsibility for what you've done or even understand it, you're apt to repeat it.
Okay. All right. We are talking. We are talking. Let's go.
It's the most obvious observation in the world is the basis of good parenting. It's
obvious. Good parenting. It's obvious.
Why you make your kids apologize, of course. So let's, in the case of Nick Fuentes, focus not on Nick Fuentes, but on the people who watch Nick Fuentes. What kind of world have they grown up in? These young white men. Well, they've grown up in, over the last 10 years, a world that hates them. And not in a subtle way. Openly, with a Hutu-like directness and ferocity. They've grown up in a country that has systematically, in law, excluded them from the workplace, from education, from federal grants, and has told them again and again and again, no, we're not discriminating against you, and yes, you deserve it. Imagine growing up like that. And again, this isn't behind the scenes.
Imagine.
Hold on. Run that back. Hold on.
Up in, over the last 10 years, a world that hates them. And not in a subtle way. Openly, with a Hutu-like directness and ferocity. They've grown up in a country that has systematically, in law, excluded them from the workplace, from education, from federal grants, and has told them again and again and again, no, we're not discriminating against you, and yes, you deserve it. Imagine growing up like that. And again, this isn't behind the scenes. This is way out in the open.
Oh, shit, Tucker, boy. Oh, my God. Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Is he not tell it like it is? Who is he talking about? Is he talking about us? It sounds like he's talking about us. Is he talking about us? Okay.
He doesn't realize. Oh, down the list. Displaced from jobs, education, federal grants. I myself and probably several brothers in the chat have several stories that they've been dropped from a job for no reason ever explained.
Last hired, first fired.
Yeah. The guys that stayed around and kissed ass, they seem to stay around person no matter how hard they worked. If they're not sucking up anybody, they're not playing the political game, not kissing ass and sucking dick. You're first on the chopping block.
First.
Education.
Yeah.
One of the first podcasts we did 2 or 3 years ago. Our boy Gerald brought up as a side to a larger point he was trying to make. The panel of 10 brothers all over the country, different age ranges.
Yep.
Early 20s to late 60s.
Yep.
He brings up as an aside to a larger point that his school tried to place him in special ed.
Yep.
Of this random collection of 10 men, 7 others spoke up.
Yep. Crazy.
The good attorney Dennis Sperling has covered this a few years ago, how mothers would willingly let their kids be put in special ed programs for the crazy check.
Yep.
Federal grants. We have covered extensively, like just yesterday.
Yep.
Innocent man accused of a heinous crime. They had the DNA evidence and claimed it was destroyed.
Yep.
Sat in prison 7 years for a crime he didn't commit. Statistically proven to be the most incarcerated and the most exonerated.
By far. Not even close.
And by law, if you go to jail, you are automatically exempt from Pell Grant.
Yep.
Which goes back into education again.
Yep.
So how far back did he talked about these, what, 20 years he said? Or?
Yeah, just 20 years. I mean,
centuries. Cry me a fucking river.
Oh, you think you're warm now. He's just getting warmed up, Broken Blade. Oh, do you hold on? You make sure you're sitting down. You might need to get a drink, brother. You might need to get a drink, smoke a joint. You might, because it's only getting worse. He's just getting started. The hypocrisy. I almost fell out of my chair like 3 times. I couldn't not cover this tonight. I couldn't not cover this. I had a whole nother plan. And I had a whole nother thing, and I threw all that out. I was like, you know what? I'll do that tomorrow or the next day. I gotta let this white man tell us about systemic racism right now and how it works.
And not only has it done exactly that to young white men, of course, white men being the one group who are officially excluded under DEI. There's only one, it's white men, white straight men. It's not whining.
It's not whining.
It's not whining when you do it.
Yeah.
It's not whining when y'all do it. Okay. Victim mentality.
By the way, this
That's crazy, bro. Listen, it only gets worse. We are just getting started. What? Just listen to this bullshit.
happens to be the one group in America who, by and large, have been taught for cultural reasons, don't whine. Don't talk about yourself so much. No one wants to hear your story. And whatever you do, don't be the victim. All of that's good advice, by the way. But this group has not only been excluded with the force of law by the Justice Department in every state and at every college and university, with maybe 3 exceptions. They've been mocked and attacked and lectured and harangued and screamed at. Every bookstore in America had books on display. Whiteness is the problem.
Looks like decades of inner city crime is the problem.
That gang violence, though. That gang violence per capita.
Well, what if you're white? What if you're like 19 and you're thinking about how do I make my way in this increasingly competitive, maybe even ruthless country? And everywhere I go, people are telling me I'm bad because of the way I was born. What effect would that have on you?
That is a great question, Tucker. That is a great question. That is a great question. Young black men ask themselves that all of the time. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know.
And then you flip on the tube or the internet, and all these people with big jobs making big salaries who have the implied moral authority of their positions are telling you you're bad because of your skin color. And by the way, this is not a guess. Here's an example.
We have systemic racism in the United States of America. It exists.
What I told you, bro. It was like I fell out of my chair at least 3 times. Run that back. Hold on. Run it back. Hold on.
Competitive, maybe even ruthless country. And everywhere I go, people are telling me I'm bad because of the way I was born. What effect would that have on you? And then you flip on the tube or the internet, and all these people with big jobs making big salaries who have the implied moral authority of their positions are telling you you're bad because of your skin color. And by the way, this is not a guess. Here's an example.
We have systemic racism in the United States of America. It exists today, and it's a white man's problem. White men are responsible for it, not black men.
And we have stood by to see mediocre, mealy-mouthed, snowflake white men who are incapable of taking critique, who are willing to dole out infamous repudiations of the humanity of the other, and yet they call us snowflakes, and they are the biggest flakes of snow to hit the earth.
American history is one.
It's kind of proving the point, but I agree.
Yeah. In which white Americans, by and large, have been taught to have indifference or even contempt for black life. We have defined the country as a white nation where people of color are here on a guest pass.
1 in 3 Americans are racist. 1 in 3 Americans are terrified that this country by the year 2040 is not going to be majority white.
There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. And don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed.
Wake up, white men. What the fuck is wrong with you? And you're just eating it up. Oh, my God. Look at what they're doing. All of a sudden, my heritage is going to be over. That I want to live in a country where white kids go to white schools and white people marry each other. What is wrong with that? I want to grow up in a country that my great-grandfather grew up in. That country doesn't exist anymore, asshole.
So you can see why there probably are some Nick Fuentes viewers who are a little confused when they hear themselves attacked as racist. Racism is wrong. Of course, it is wrong. But they've grown up in a world where one of the leading CNN anchors is looking right into the cameras. What the fuck is wrong with you, white people? You want to be near other white people? You want to have a heritage? You want to have white children? How dare you? The CNN anchor is married to a white guy. Whatever.
I had to get to that part because Don Lemon is married to a white man, which is okay. So Broken Blade. I gotta pause it. I gotta pause it here, right? We gotta pause it here, right? Because this is that rock and hard place, right? Because the things that those other people were saying were not necessarily incorrect, but what they were doing was they were making the block hot, right? Like it was part of the reason why I think this country got worse during Obama is because there was some resentment there. It was like white folks wanted to get their get back, and it's not like we could look for the police for help. You know, it was like
being a tether, he was off code anyway.
100% off code.
Yeah,
100%. Right. So we're stuck between a rock and
shots like in our crowd, like with agent provocateur. as a crowd of peaceful protesters. They launch a Molotov or something at the police. They gives them to go ahead and go ham on everybody.
Absolutely. False flag.
Yeah.
Right. Basically the same thing, like all of those things, right? It false, someone, the agent provocateur, a false flag, the people that are really someone that's not responsible or someone that's from the other side throw something just to get things going, get things started. Yeah. And here we're sitting in the middle, which is why I'm glad we haven't been out protesting, because that's normally what happens. And part of the reason why they're falling flat is because we're not out there as cannon fodder. But so you can see the rock and the hard place, right? So you've got these idiot Democrats that are overplaying their hand, or they're not being accurate with how they're describing the systems or the things that they're going on, because they don't really want to change anything.
Yeah.
They just want to get some sort of power. Oh, you poor black people are just too dumb to defend yourselves. You're too dumb to get, we have to do it for you, right? We got to do it for you, you poor blacks. And then on the other side, you've got, this side.
Yeah.
Right. So that leaves us in a pretty precarious position, right? Because he's perfectly described what the hell we've been going through for the past 200 years. Let's just be conservative and say 70 or 80. Let's just go back to the 60s, right? Let's just go back to the 50 years. Let's go back to the 50s. That's 70 years. Let's just go back to there. He's completely described exactly what the hell we've been going through, but somehow, some way, he hasn't been able to connect the dots because we're not our own group. We're connected to that group. Yeah. You see? Again, it's a really that bro, I'm telling you, that's why we're politically homeless. We really are, because Democrats ain't doing nothing for us, and then these idiots, we have to. I still don't exactly understand I still haven't quite figured out what the strategy is going to be to figure out how to get this side to understand our particular circumstance or situation. Generally, Republicans seem to be at least willing to listen.
I'm not even interested. Like they have to know. They don't care.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. But
my thing is, find a way to get the money up to get some of these politicians in our pocket.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think maybe it starts with, I don't know whether it be our, look, 50 Cent is down in Shreveport, Louisiana, doing things down there. He's like, buddied up with the mayor down there. I'm sure he's got a handful of sheriffs and cops, under his, I'm sure greasing a pocket or two. I think more of that needs to happen. I don't know what crime is like down there. I don't know if he's making a big difference. I don't know if he's, but I think that more moves like that need to happen, and we need to shore up some of these enclaves where we can actually protect each other and protect our resources. So that it's not all just we're not just spread out all over the place and we're just doling it out to everybody else. Let's let him, because there's more, bro. There's more. Shout out to Tucker Carlson.
But it's a little hard to tell people that racism is wrong when you're committing it. And again, it's not just a few people. It was our entire ruling class was lecturing us about how whiteness is a disease. It's a plague. It's inherently sinful. It's the source of all evil. The president of the United States stood up and said racism is the problem, and it's only committed by whites.
Yeah.
Has he never heard of Strom Thurmond?
I'm sure he has. Okay, so Broken Blade. Okay, so once again, right? So affirmative action was supposed to be specific to Black men. Because we were being frozen out of the workforce and therefore could not take care of our families.
Yeah.
They shoehorned women in there as another minority, which basically pushed us to the back of the bus. Right. So the correction that was supposed to have been made was all for naught.
By the way, put in place by JFK, that change happened after he was murked. Funny how that works.
Funny how that works. Of course. Yep. And Lincoln too, right? Similar kind of thing, right? Whenever Lincoln he was trying to make some changes and got murked right after. Okay. So no more MLK, straight Cal High. Okay. Yep. Okay. So racism is imposing your will on another group that you think is lesser than you. Do melanated Democrats have enough power to lever against white men? Have any of the Democrat policies actually levered power against white men?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No. I'm asking, what about chat? What do you think? Have the Democrat policies, is there any Democrat policy that has leveraged power against white men? Meaning, like, has any Democrat policy, say for banks, made it so that a white man cannot go into a bank and get a loan? Have Democrats passed legislation that made it so that a white man can't live or buy a home in a particular zip code? Has Democrats had any policies that made it so that white men couldn't go buy a weapon? So is he being dishonest with his description of being racist?
I've heard no story about a white family using a black man to get a loan for a house.
Okay.
A black man being punished for saying it.
Okay. Now, have Democrats demonstrated bigoted behavior?
Bigoted, yeah, you could argue that.
Okay.
Saying some smart ass remarks, but like,
okay,
racism as far as a system, putting laws in place, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, so it's disingenuous, borderline dishonest to say that they're doing racist things because they're really not doing anything specifically against white men like they did to us.
Exactly.
And let alone like they actually legislated stuff against us. Put it in ink, put it in paper. You can't buy a home here. You can't get a loan here. If you look like this, you can't get it here. If you look like this, you can't buy here. If you look like this, you're not going to get this grant. You're not going to get this assistance, so on and so forth. Okay. So I just wanted to be clear about that. And because I think that, again, this is the kind of language that he's used, and it's a dishonest and disingenuous at best. Let's continue. I wanted to make sure I clarified that part.
It's a white man problem. Is racism only committed by whites? No, and everyone knows that.
No, everyone doesn't know that. It's not a thing. Unless you can legislate and lever power against another group, specifically against another group, it's not racism. Bigotry, yes. Racism, no. Bigotry, yes. Racism, no. If I'm dating a white chick and her grandfather is a racist bastard and Grandpa Charlie is sitting over there in a corner mumbling under his breath, freaking hard ER, right? I don't really care. Like, I care, but I don't really care, right? Like, he can't do anything to me. He's over there drooling on himself. Sit over there, Grandpa Charlie, and eat your applesauce, right? Like, sit over there, don't you move. But if I go into the bank and his son is the loan guy, and the loan guy looks at me and says, "Oh yeah, sorry, but you don't qualify." That's the difference. Bigotry, you can say freaking hard ER all you want, but you can't lever you don't have any power over me. You can't affect my life in any way. But a judge or a DA or a police officer or a loan officer or any of those people that can affect my life on a personal level, those people can display racism. So the question becomes, do Democrats or melanated peoples have the ability to freeze or lock white men out of healthcare, business, loans, so on and so forth? And Broken Blade says, we don't think so. Now, we can have that conversation. If there's somebody in the chat that wants to come up and discuss that, I'm totally open to it. But I want to make that distinction so that we're listening to this in the proper context. Let's go.
Other people is a human problem, one that every person struggles with, hopefully struggles against, because it's wrong. It's always wrong.
It's wrong.
Anti-Semitism is wrong. It's every bit as wrong as what you just saw. It's every bit as anti-black racism or anti-Malaysian racism. It doesn't matter.
Hey, you know what's funny? Everyone always tries to jump in and be like anti-black, black. They always like to throw us into the mix. Like, this is just like the worst thing ever. But like, they still do racist stuff. Whatever, anyways.
Hating people for how they were born is wrong. It's called a universal principle. This country is founded on universal principles. They apply to everyone.
Wait a second. What? Wait.
How they were born is wrong. It's called a universal principle. This country is founded on universal principles. They apply to everyone. They were born is wrong. It's called a universal principle. This country is founded on universal principles. They apply to everyone.
Huh. They apply to everyone. Universal. Country founded on it. Not chattel slavery, but universal. I think this is some revisionist history that's happening right before us a little bit. But you know, he's got the principles right. He's cooking. He's doing something. Hold on, Broken Blade. He's not done yet.
Equally. That's the promise of America. That is Western civilization. You could sum it up in a sense. What is Western civilization? Well, it's a civilization governed by universal principles. Everyone can be saved. No one is damned by his nature. And hating any group, because that's true, hating any group is by definition immoral. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It happens all the time, of course, because it's the default setting in the human heart.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Hold on. What did he just? Hold on.
What is Western civilization?
He said a lot of words, and I think there was some contradictions in there. Hold on a second.
Civilization governed by universal principles. Everyone can be saved. No one is damned by his nature. And
no one is damned by their nature. Okay.
Hating any.
Go ahead.
So-called Christian nation.
Yeah.
What has always been the popular interpretation of the curse of Ham?
That we deserved it, or we deserved slavery. I think, is that what you're getting at? Yeah, because they be having a whip.
Sisters of Ham were of African descent,
and
thus chattel slavery was God's will. It was our punishment for Ham's actions.
Yeah, for being black, basically.
Yeah.
A whip in one hand and a Bible in the other, huh? Crazy. Isn't that crazy? But I mean, he's perfectly describing. He's just a little off on a couple of things. But I mean, he's got the description down. I mean, okay, let's see. What are you saying? Let's see.
Group, because that's true, hating any group is by definition immoral. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It happens all the time, of course, because it's the default setting in the human heart. But we need to struggle against it. Maybe not ban it. Hard to ban attitudes. Once you get down that road, you become totalitarian immediately. But say it's wrong.
It's wrong.
And if it's not wrong in every case, then it can't really be wrong, can it? If it's not a universal principle, then it's not a principle. And so how can my racism be worse than your racism? Well, of course it can't.
Hurtful remarks about white men offered a 10-year-old boy because he's wielding a toy gun.
That racism is
remarks.
Yeah.
White cop putting his knee on a black man's neck for the better part of 9 minutes.
Yeah. That seems like one racism.
Hurtful remarks Black men found swinging from trees on nooses, and you just write it off as self-deletion. Where's the universality there, Tucker?
Where I don't know. Shout out to the. I'm gonna put the link up in about 10 minutes. I just got to get to this one point, and then I'm gonna open it up. But I'm dead serious. I'm gonna open it. Just give me just a second. I'm gonna let Tucker, because he's cooking right now. he's cooking right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, facts.
He's cooking.
Absolutely.
What do you say? You gotta realize by now he's literally talking about. Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Sure.
I'm telling you, I literally fell out of my chair multiple times.
So the people lecturing Fuentes viewers for something that is wrong, hating all Jews is wrong, totally wrong.
Oh,
it sounds so.
Oh wait, hold on. Hating all the Canadians is wrong. Isn't that crazy? They figured that part out. They get that part.
The case because they've been engaged wrong. Hating all Jews is wrong, totally wrong. Don't have the moral authority to make the case because they've been engaging in this in public and in private for the entire lifetime of Nick Fuentes' viewers. So
can you hear what he's saying?
Twitter. No, do you further than that?
Isn't it crazy? It's like, yo, do you even hear yourself, bro? Do you even understand that there's a whole population, 40 some odd million people that have been going through this exact same thing since the inception of this country, and somehow he's acting like it's new, bro.
But it is new to them,
bro. Cognitive dissonance. If you look up cognitive dissonance in the dictionary, it's this look right here. Hold on. Look, if you look up in the dictionary cognitive dissonance, this is the look you get. This is the face right here. That's the face of cognitive dissonance right there. There you go. Cognitive dissonance. Wow. Let's let him rock some more.
Oh, it's hard to take them seriously. And by the way, you can tell exactly where this is going. It's going toward violence, tribal warfare. That's the last thing you want. That's why this is a great country. That's why it's exceptional, because we haven't had that. And why haven't we had that? Because we have self-consciously and out loud said, these are universal principles that apply to every human being because every human being was created by God in God's image. That's it right there. That's a Christian understanding of the human soul. There's been a lot of noise in the news recently, but here's Blackman when Harvard.
I told you, bro. It was, I was like, what is the
Civil War, Red Summer, Tulsa, Oklahoma,
200 other lynching cities burned to the ground, flooded, destroyed. So yeah, yo, that's crazy. Yeah, he looks confused.
Systematically, as it is today, discriminated against.
He's used that word again, systematically again. Ain't that something?
You can find on Amazon Prime called The Cotton Picking Truth.
I've heard of this.
Made in the early 2000s, the documentary interviewing slaves that were freed in the 1960s.
Yeah. I've seen clips of that. I've seen clips. Yep. Let's see. Put that time in the check. Yeah. You should. Absolutely. Yeah. With slaves, and they were being filmed with regular cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like regular camera. Like it wasn't like stop motion. It was like regular cameras type stuff. Hold on. All right, let's let him rock. Because he's cooking.
People on the basis of their race. Straight white men. Harvard discriminates against them. There's no guessing. This is today. Good. I agree. But where was Bill Ackman when Harvard was systematically, as it is today, discriminated against people on the basis of their race? Straight white men. Harvard discriminates against them. There's no guessing about that. There was a lawsuit about it. We have the numbers. No one said a word. Where was Paul Singer? These are now big Republican conservative donors. Were they upset? Did they say anything? Did they do anything meaningful? These are billionaires. If anybody could have weighed in effectively against systemic racism, real systemic racism, causing harm.
real systemic racism.
As opposed to what those whitey hard R's are always complaining about.
Oh, he put some real systemic racism. Yo, that is crazy, bro. The fact that this fool has hit everybody with the Uno reverse card on systemic racism is bananas. This is crazy, dog. This is crazy. Uno reverse on systemic racism. Oh, it is. Oh, hell no. Dog, we can't let this one slide. I don't know what needs to happen.
Absolutely
We might need to add him directly and be like, yo, you need to listen to that shit back again through the ears of a black man, you stupid motherfucker. Like you are tripping, bro. Like you are absolutely tripping.
Could you provide me a link to this?
Yeah. Hell
the
yeah.
video was coming anyway, but this is a great framework to.
Oh my God. This is crazy. Yo, hey, what's up? Still wait. I got you, yoga. I got an update. Don't worry. My man was playing what you call it with goddamn what's his face that was supposed to fight Jake Paul. Tank. So this fool was messing around in Baltimore for 2 damn weeks trying to lead up to this damn fight, messing around with Tank, pussyfooting around with him instead of handling business for me. But you know, whatever. The fight got canceled, all sorts of stuff. It was whatever, bro. It's cool, whatever. I'm a small fish. My money's not big enough yet. So until my money gets big enough, I get pushed to the back of the line. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, he was over there pussyfooting with Tank, jumping over backwards for him. But whatever.
Like one group over another on the basis of race. It would have been guys like this. They said not a word. Well, they certainly didn't do anything about it. That's for sure. Now they're all upset. Well, that looks like self-interest to people watching. These. Like one group over another on the basis of race. It would have been guys like this. They said not a word.
Not a word.
Well, they certainly didn't do anything about it. That's for sure. Now they're all upset. Well, that looks like self-interest to people watching. These, for the 5th time, are universal principles. The continuation of the United States depends upon those principles. They must be vigorously defended, above all by the most powerful people in our society, the people who not simply have a voice, but have power to enforce those principles. The meritocracy is not just some goal that we should strive toward. It's the whole point. You have to judge people on their behavior, not on their blood.
They've all been shout out to Yoga. Yeah, they've been printed. I believe they've already been assembled, and I'm not quite sure. I haven't gotten them in the box yet. I've seen the materials printed out. I've seen the materials set aside. I haven't seen them 100% assembled, Yoga. I've seen the materials printed out. I've seen all the materials set aside. I have not seen them fully assembled, but you will get them. It'll be as soon as that I'll have you. I'll have a tracking which call for you. Just check your email. In fact, I've confirmed your address. I confirmed your address via email. Just hit me back. Yeah. Did you hear what he said?
Those principles. The meritocracy is not just some goal that we should strive toward. It's the whole point. You have to judge people on their behavior, not on their blood. Otherwise, you move very quickly into collective punishment. This is why what Israel is doing in Gaza is immoral, not simply because it's a bloody war where civilians are being killed. That's very common and very sad. But what makes this different and worthy of comment is that Israeli politicians are saying out loud, and Mark Levin is joining them and saying out loud, and a number of other Americans are saying out loud, it doesn't matter if they die because they're stained from birth by the sin. It's the opposite of universalism. It's tribalism.
Okay, real quick.
And it's certainly not unique.
Real quick. I just want to address this comment right here. Content of character instead of color of their skin. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, if that's what's really happening. But unfortunately, that's not what's really happening. People say that, but they do something else. They say that, but they see you coming in and they approach and they don't allow you to, or they don't approve your loan, or they come into your home and they appraise your home at $500,000 less than what they should, or $200,000 less than they should. That's the point. The point is that, and the whole way that that white supremacy works is that there's plausible deniability. So you've got rules for us and rules for them, and it's a little murky. So how you handle one side doesn't necessarily mean how you handle the other. That's how it works. And so it allows guys like this to sit here and look confused. Like, I don't understand why all the black people live on the other side of the tracks where all the pollution goes and the water is dirty and so on. I don't understand why that happens. I mean, I guess maybe they all just want to live over there. There can't be, I don't know, zoning laws that or ordinances in the paperwork that won't allow you to sell to black people. Seattle, Washington. Redlining. That's the point. That's the point. That's all.
To the Middle East at all. And anyone who thinks it is an idiot. It's the human condition. It's a state of man. It's like the deepest, most obvious sin that we exhibit. But it's the whole problem. And you see it in this.
And also, I understand that I understand not all white people. I'm not saying all white people. I'm just saying that the majority, there's a reason why the average white family has 90% more wealth than the average black family. There's a reason for that. Like, it is what it is. It doesn't mean that every single, I know there's poor white people. There's trailer parks. We know that there's a lot of white folks that are in jail that are committing heinous crimes. You just don't ever hear about them. So people think that they don't exist. That's the problem. But shout out to you, bro. Thank you for coming up in here and hanging out. I like a diverse crowd for sure. We play things even. We call balls and strikes around here, and we appreciate good dialogue.
Country too. Oh, that's outrageous. Really, Donnie Deutsch? Is it outrageous? Did you say anything about the racism all around you and the elite institutions that you're so proud of being a part of? It was the basis of those institutions. No, we're gonna help some people and hurt other people based on what their parents look like. So why don't you sit this one out, actually? Why don't you be quiet for a moment and think about what the core problem is? That's the core problem right there. Not a defense of racism or anti-Semitism. It's all the same.
Wait.
It's the only reason to oppose it.
Wait.
If it applies to you, it applies to me. You should defend that principle as vigorously as I do. And let's hope. There's no evidence that's happening, by the way. Everyone's just retreating into their own little group, being like, no, I don't want my people to get hurt. No. You don't want any person in our country ever to face that. Ever. That's why segregation was wrong. That's why the Nazis were bad. I mean, really? We have to have this conversation? Apparently we do.
See, they always try to throw that in there like they're the same. They are not the same, brother. I'm sorry, it is not the same. Blacks do not get treated the same as white folks. It is not the same. I don't care what you can try to make them even all you want. It is not the same. If you're being disingenuous, if you actually think that it's the same, disingenuous at best, it is not the same. Let's continue.
It's not an attack on everyone to point that out. It is not an attack on anyone to point that out. It is instead a defense of everyone. It's not attacking anyone. It's a defense of everyone. It's the only defense.
Yo, this Uno reverse card. He's trying hard. And if you're not listening like hard enough, or if you're not us, he might be able to get this off. I mean, he's going to get this off. Nobody's going to check him and be like, hey, man, like you're a little off on that. I mean, I know what you were saying, but of
everyone. And it's the only way forward. So that's the environment that these kids grew up in. Racism is wrong. Anti-Semitism is wrong. How would they even know that? How would they know that? Because you've been committing it. Probably had no idea. The second thing.
Probably had no idea? Think about what he's saying right now. Right? Think about what he's saying, because he's also making an excuse for himself and his own behavior. Because he's not really he can't be talking about white folks. He can't be. I mean, he is, but because the situation that he's making up, it's imaginary.
Yeah.
It's imaginary.
To remember about this audience, and I'll just say I'm 56, so like, how well do I understand Nick Wentz's audience? I don't know, probably not that well. But I've made some effort to try to understand it, again, because it's just objectively important. The second thing to remember is that they have been attacked, again, not making them victims, not making excuses, just trying to explain how we got here, for the last 10 years because they are male. Because they...
Huh. All right.
They are men or boys. And not just subtly with the...
This is the part I wanted to get to. We could be done with this after this. I wanted to get just a little bit more, Hold on.
Overwhelming emphasis on female achievement in school. And what about the girls? How are girls doing? Well, actually, girls are doing great. The boys who are withering and dying, turning inside, internalizing the hate against them, and as is so often the case, exhibiting it as self-hate. Not just ignored, but attacked out loud for being male by some of the most powerful people in our society. Again, in case you've forgotten, here it is.
The level of misogyny online, everything from literal threats against women in the public arena to the demeaning of women to men with very large platforms who espouse a kind of toxic masculinity connected with violence, brutality, even sometimes rape, is so shocking, but it's a reality.
There's too much of toxicity. It's masculine toxicity out there. And we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine. We're seeing it with our younger people. We're seeing it in our discourse, in our politics, in the media. You're seeing it as it relates to so many of the issues that we're pushing back on. So I think it's a problem, and I'm going to continue to use this platform every time I get to speak out against this toxic masculinity that's out there.
When they talk about Republicans and their success online, they have been successful because they have also been very clear, especially digitally, about what they believe, that women are inferior, that they do not deserve equal rights, that they believe that LGBTQ Americans are subhuman. And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them.
It's like...
Man, they never bang for us like that, bro. I wish they would bang for us like that. That's crazy. I wish they would, but whatever. Canary in the coal mine. I digress. Come on, Tucker, tell us.
And now for today's lecture on masculinity from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Doug Emhoff. I mean, you're tempted to dismiss this as, once again, the unhappiest people in our society spreading their own personal pain to the entire population. And of course, on one level, that's exactly what it is. People with dysfunctional, incomplete, sad personal lives probably shouldn't be telling anyone else how to live. In the same way you probably wouldn't take real estate advice from a homeless guy or investment counsel from Bernie Madoff. Only listen to people who have demonstrated success in whatever area they're lecturing you about. I mean, this is just like the most basic life lesson. We're excited to announce people, and most are, the average marriage age, I think in this country is around 30. It was, in the early 20s, not that long ago. People aren't getting married. And maybe you think that's a great thing. Certainly if you're a Democratic politician, you think that's great because that just means more voters for you. But if you're like a normal person who cares about human happiness and thriving and children and continuing your country and civilization, that's a bad thing. So the question is, how did it happen? And if you talk to young people, it's not exactly clear what the answer is, but you notice immediately that the relationship between men and women, boys and girls, is broken on a level it's hard to see how you can fix. I mean, contemptuous of each other, suspicious of each other, at some point dismissive of each other. That's really what you pick up. There's hostility. Men feel hostile to women. Women feel hostile to men.
Broken Blade, would you say Black women have, I don't know, acted hostile towards you? I'm curious to know in the chat, have you guys felt hostility from Black women? Not you, Mr. Raft. I'm sure you will, Black, you could probably pick you up a Keisha whenever yo, someone just got ended just recently. She was of Haitian descent and got herself a zaddy, and he went ahead and punched her ticket. But yeah, HOJO.
Shout out to them. Like, there's been some spots that I can think of individuals I've had, visual Black women I've had very positive experiences with.
Yeah.
But by and large, yeah, it's been contentious.
Yeah. They tend to kind of be that way sometimes, for sure. But let digress. Let's let because we're almost done with this. We're almost done, guys. Hang on just a little minute.
Could there be anything sadder than that? Since men and women are designed for each other, it's hard to become fully complete without the other. That's not even a theological point. It's a biological point. It's true for all species. Male and female, that distinction is encoded in all of nature. in plants and animals. It's in the universe, you might say. It's just a fact. And you can ignore it and pretend that, you know, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. You can come up with any slogan you want. You can externalize your childhood trauma in any way you want and write all the books you want about how dad is bad, but you can't get around nature because you didn't create it. You don't make the rules. You either live by them and thrive, or you ignore them and are destroyed. That's the choice that we face, period. I mean, you could say, you know, it's snowing outside. I'm going to wear my underwear because I should be able to. Well, you're going to freeze to death because it's not up to you. And the same is true for the relationship between men and women. You can say, I hate them, I don't want them, but you're not going to thrive, period. You will be miserable. And you just saw 3 miserable people right on the screen. Our society has systematically, knowingly or not, it's hard to know exactly how much was intentional, poisoned the relationship between young men and young women. And they've done it in a bunch of different ways. We could go on for hours on this topic, but the results tell the story. They're not getting married because they don't like each other. They don't know how to communicate with each other. And above all, they think they don't need each other. And that's a lie. It's a lie. So anyone who is promoting that view is at fault. And when you're powerful and have a platform, a megaphone, where other people are watching you and taking cues from you, when you have the power to convince other people of something to live a certain way, boy, you're guilty. That's your fault. So when I hear
tell me more, Tucker. Tell me more. Tell me more.
People say, well, you know, the thing about Nick Fuentes is he's a misogynist. He doesn't like women. Well, maybe there's some truth in
or blacks
in that. And that's bad, but it's not so much immoral.
Okay. Think about what he just said, right? So two of the biggest issues with Fuentes is that one, he's a misogynist or whatever, but I think he's a lot less a misogynist than he is a racist, an open racist. But what does Tucker have to say about him?
Well, maybe there's some truth in that. And that's bad, but it's not so much immoral.
It's yo, I'm telling you, he's slick with it, dog. He is so slick. He is so slick. It's slimy. It's so slimy. Because if you're not really listening and because you would miss it. If you're just kind of you would miss it. But let's let it go.
As it is depressing.
Let's say it's something that's gross but not disgusting.
You're contradicting yourself.
It's what you're doing. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. This is a group of people whose imagination, whose moral imagination is so limited. And
moral imagination. Is that a thing? Moral imagination, is that a thing? Did you just make something up?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
They're so narcissistic in the way they see the world. It's all about them. Every person's sin is an opportunity for them to gloat about how good they are. That it never occurs to them that this is a tragedy. If you hear a young man say, I prefer porn to girls, or they're all sluts and they want, money and they're all basically prostitutes, which is kind of the argument that you hear, you should be very upset by that, very sad about that, and mindful of what that's going to mean in 20 years on every level. On the most obvious level, who's going to make the babies? But on a deeper, more human level, how much misery is that? A lot. So if you're adding to that, if you're attacking young men, once again, for how they were born, you are the problem. And you share some of the responsibility for the results, for the bad attitudes that inevitably will form in the face of your hectoring.
Huh. Ain't that something? Run that back. Just a second. Run that back.
How much misery is that? A lot. So if you're adding to that, if you're attacking young men, once again, for how they were born, you are the problem. And you share some of the responsibility for the results, for the bad attitudes that inevitably will form in the face of your hectoring. It's your fault too. It's our fault too. That's just true. And now we've reached a point where it's like an actual crisis.
NWA or Farrakhan or Khalid Muhammad or Malcolm X or the Black Panther Party.
And our leaders are not responding in a way that's going to make it better. Because again, they're caught up in their own dramas, their own tribal dramas, their own personal dramas. It's all about them always. You watch this Mamdani thing going on in New York. Hardly an endorsement of Mamdani. I mean, please. But what do you hear about the guy? 80% of the criticism of Mamdani is his position on Gaza. Who cares? What does that have to do with anything in New York City? Who cares what he thinks of Gaza or Bibi? That's far away and not relevant. This is a guy who said out loud on camera, and then once again out loud on camera, defending, the first time he said it, I'm going to tax white people more because they're white. Does anyone even notice that? No, because the people who don't like him they don't care. Because they don't see a connection between what happens to those white people and what might happen to some group or cause they're interested in.
As opposed to fans of Nick Fuentes, Rush Limbaugh, yourself, Tucker Carlson, and many other pundits on Fox News.
It's interesting. That's very interesting what he's got going on here. It really is. I'm pretty. It's interesting.
Unwilling to defend the universal principle, and so it's just more self-interest. How dare you say that about Gaza? Wait a second, this is the mayor of the biggest city just said he's gonna tax white people more. Well, you're just saying that because you're white. No, I'm saying it because I'm a human being and a Christian, and that's not acceptable. Your leaders can't talk or think that way, or else it all just falls apart. And in a country that's the size of a continent with 50 component parts, it could fall apart really, really fast.
Where was this guy like 50, 60, 70 years ago?
Become super, super ugly, and we are right on the brink of that. Why are they misogynists? Maybe because you told them the hormones they were born with were toxic. What are they supposed to do with that? Transition? Well, a lot of them did. Cut your dick off. The ultimate sign of bowing before authority. You're right.
What is going on here? What are you selling real fast? Yeah, anyways. All right. Let's just yeah, anyway. Let's continue.
Self-castrate. And again, a lot did. But what about the ones who didn't want to self-castrate? Where are they? Well, they're pissed. And they're pissed at you. They're mad at you, and they have every good reason to be mad at you. Period. The third lesson we should take from the fact that Nick Fuentes, who everyone's busy on, Nick Fuentes, he's the problem. Right? Yeah, he's the problem. Some 27-year-old, he's the problem.
Yeah, I hear.
No, you're the problem, actually. And the third factor in his popularity is the uncontestable fact that the economy, the rest of us in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, people with all the money have created, is destroying young people. Just a fact. And it's not just that they can't have, the place in Greenwich and the place in Jackson Hole. It's not, they can't have any place. They can't have anything. They can't own anything. And rather than even spend a day thinking through, how do we fix this? The answer is, well, we'll just import people who are grateful for what they're getting here, because the differential between what they got at home and got here is pretty big. Like if you're from Oaxaca or Bangalore, not owning a home in your 30s is fine. You never expected to own a home anyway. So you're just happy to be here, and you're grateful to the people who brought you, and you'll vote for them. That is literally their thinking. And it's demonstrable, it's their thinking. But for people who were born here, what a betrayal. What a terrible betrayal. And worse than a betrayal. Here's just an overview of it.
With AI,
you can create any character you want in seconds.
this used to require huge Hollywood budgets.
Buying a home has never been harder. The average first-time buyer.
I had to get this last part in, bro. I just had to get this last part in. I just had to get this last part in, because it's like as if we're not even here, bro. It's so crazy. It's so. I'm telling you, cognitive dissonance. It's like you.
Is now 40 years old, and it's more expensive to own. Nationally, the median price of a home is $415,000, up more than 50% since 2019. If you buy that average price home now, the payment is roughly $2,000 a month. When you pay it off in 30 years, it would have cost you about $657,000. Just 6 years ago, you'd have paid $1,500 a month and about $563,000 total. The dream of owning a home is causing some Americans to rethink important milestones. A new survey by Coldwell Banker finds 71% of aspiring homeowners are postponing at least one life decision, like getting married, having kids, or making career moves until they can afford to buy a home.
So they can't afford houses. Probably the top issue for young men in their 20s and 30s are a lot of issues. By the way, at a time when they can't buy a home, the idea of sending money to a foreign country, particularly Israel, but all countries, any country, Sudan, France, pretty offensive, because it is, after all, their government. They pay for it. Why wouldn't it offend them? But not being able to buy a home, if you ask any young person, or at least a dozen or two I've asked, number one, I grew up in a home, not an apartment, not Section 8, not a rental house, but a house that I own. Not a huge house, but just a house. Could go to Home Depot, buy garden hose, fix the gutter. That's kind of the dream, actually, for most men. And in that home, I have my wife, my children, and my dog. These are not crazy aspirations. These are the most human aspirations men think about when they go to sleep at night. It's my little house. There's nothing more male than that. It's my cave. And they're being denied that. So they're upset, and increasingly they feel nihilistic, and why wouldn't they? But the question that too few ask is, well, why can't they buy a home? What is that? And you often hear dumb people say, we just don't have enough homes. Okay. Don't have enough homes, so we need to take Yellowstone and build Section 8 or something. Morons. And of course, supply and demand is real, and so, there are fewer homes than we would like to have, and so the price rises. Okay, but that's not really the whole story. There are a bunch of factors. One.
Oh, it's not really the whole story? Tell us, Tucker. What is the whole story? I'm curious.
Big companies buying homes and turning them into rentals. Why would you ever allow that? If you want
Been doing it.
a revolution, keep that up. 2 is we just have more people. Density is a real thing. This is a great country because it's not an overpopulated country. It's not Bangladesh, not just because we're better than the Bangladeshis, but because there are fewer of us and a bigger piece of land. You don't want to live cheek to jowl. It makes people crazy. It makes rats crazy. And it makes people crazy. Nobody wants that. But we're getting it, and we're getting it through immigration. Illegal and legal. We're being flooded with people from outside the country. Everyone's like, oh, wow, that's a racial thing. Okay. Maybe for some people, there are racial elements, for sure. Certainly a lot of cultural elements that are important. But like at root, it's a very simple question. It's nothing to do with ethnicity or even culture. It's like, how many people do you want living near you? So many you can't afford a house? That's kind of an overlooked byproduct of stuffing the country full of people who are here because they're inexpensive to employ and grateful to be here. It's a massive byproduct. But there's another factor that's never mentioned, and that's debt. Young people are totally in hock. They are completely indebted. They have student loans. They were required to get a degree or told they were required to get a degree to get some job that no longer exists because it's been eliminated or H-1B'd or whatever. The jobs aren't there. Unemployment among recent college grads is out of control. Are they becoming more moderate? once they leave college, like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt? They followed every instruction they were given dutifully because young people are actually pretty dutiful. And in this country, young people, some of them are really smart. For real. Talk to them. Tons of losers, of course, there always are. But the smart ones are really smart and very aware of what's going on. And they know that they've been completely betrayed. They did what they were told to do. And they're shafted. They're literally shafted because they don't have enough income. In some cases, any. So what are they doing? They're going into debt. They have the student loans. They have credit card debt. And of course, now there are all these other ways to borrow money that are disguised. Buy now, pay later. What's that? You're going into debt, of course. And what's so interesting about this, and this is a problem primarily.
Please tell us what's interesting before we're going to end this here. But go ahead.
On the right, though not exclusively, is that no one has sympathy for them at all.
Wait, hold on. I missed that. I missed that.
And this is a problem primarily on the right, though not exclusively, is that no one has sympathy for them at all. Conservatives, you hate to say this out loud, but it's true. Conservatives have been trained to blame the borrower, not the lender. It's like a feature of the mindset. Well, you took the loan, you got to pay it back. It's your moral duty to pay it back. Pay back what you owe. Don't be a deadbeat. Okay, fine, get it, like it. But is it really that simple? No, it's not. Because the relationship between borrower and lender is inherently symbiotic. One cannot exist without the other. What other relationship is like that?
That's a very good question. What other relationship is is like that? That's a really great question. Yeah, like I said, he's speaking the truth. Yes, my point is that Black people have been dealing with this particular problem since, I don't know, Freedmen's Bank, the very first bank to go belly up in this country, the very first bank to go that went belly up during Reconstruction, after slavery. So Black folks whose first time they were able to actually earn money and put it in a bank lost it because of this exact practice. Sharecroppers were sharecropping for tens of years, basically being treated as though it was a loan, a leasing property, leasing farmland. They've been fleecing us from the beginning. Oh, but now it's a problem. Okay, bet.
Fraught, sad, diseased relationship is like that. Well, addict and pusher.
What? Hold on. Listen how he described it.
Whether fraught, sad, diseased relationship is like that.
Diseased relationship. Yeah. Yes, Tucker. Yes. He just didn't know he was talking about us.
Well, addict and pusher. Of course. You can't be a drug addict unless someone sells you drugs.
How did those drugs get in our community, Broken Blade? Was Cleophas out there growing the coca leaves and growing the Afghan Kush or whatever the hell was it Black folks that was shipping that stuff into the country, processing it? No,
it was Reagan administration.
Gotcha. Reagan, done by the Obama. It was happening. It was happening way before Obama, Mr. Rath, way before Obama. I know your knee-jerk reaction is to blame the Black guy. Ain't that crazy? You see, he can't help it. They can't help it, bro. It's always our fault, no matter what. It's even if it's not a real Black person. It's just he looks black enough. That's crazy. That's wild. Anyways, shout out to him.
And yet we understand the complexity of that relationship, and we punish both. In fact, we punish the drug dealer more harshly than we punish the drug addict, because we understand that the drug dealer is making all this suffering possible. And we feel sorry for the addict. He's an addict. We can punish him. And by the way, throwing him in jail might be the only way to sober him up. It might save his life. And we should. For his own sake and for ours. Stop breaking into my car. Got it. But the drug dealer, well, that we reserve our rage for him because he's the one doing it. He's taking advantage of the weak. And that's all true. And that's appropriate to feel that way. It's exactly right. But we don't feel that way about credit card companies or student loan vendors or the guys who are literally offering buy now, pay later for DoorDash. Some unemployed or underemployed college grad went to some crappy college, got a worthless degree because he believed in it. Now he can't get a job at JP Morgan. He's never going to get one. And we are telling him it's totally cool to buy sushi on credit. What? He shouldn't buy sushi on credit, obviously. That's dumb. But he's a kid. Who's worse? The guy who borrows the money or the guy who loans the money at some ridiculous rate? Payday loans in this country, there are payday loans that have a 600% annual interest rate. And we kind of ignore it because we're like, who would take a payday loan? You know, that's like a ghetto thing. Okay.
Oh,
okay, fine.
So he does know. Oh, I see. It's okay for them to do it to us. It's just not okay for them to do it to them. I got it now, Broken Blade. See, that was a part I couldn't quite figure out. I couldn't put it all together. But now I know. I know now that that's the problem. The problem was, and I did all that just to get to here. The problem wasn't that they were doing it. It was that they were doing it to them now. Okay. All right.
It's a problem when I do it.
Shout out to my brother Issa. What's up, man? How are you doing, sir?
Bro.
What's
man,
up?
listening to this freaking nonsense from these people, man. Listen, bro. I really believe that, bro, they the devil, bro. Cause ain't nobody else around the world gonna have the kind of cognitive dissonance that they got, bro. Like really sit up there like I don't know what's going on and why it's like this and why the black people live over there and why they're so aggressive. Why can't they do for themselves and they can't ever build anything? Well, we did.
I mean,
y'all bombed it.
He just described the situation. Like we should be upset. Like we should be enraged, I think was the word he used. He described it. He just wasn't talking about us though. Here, real quick. I just put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again, but I'm gonna run this disclaimer. If you come up, you got a cam up. So tell me something. Do you because it was really interesting. We were covering that Steven Crowder being in the in that barber shop, right? And he was all but basically threatening the black community, essentially. And the funny part about it is he's threatening the black community behind problems that his community caused and or instigated. Are we not getting the same kind of vibes here?
Oh yeah. They can't help themselves. Look, there's a question, right? In the supreme wisdom lessons from Elijah Muhammad, right? And this stick out to me, right? It say, can the devil be reformed? Emphatically, no.
Yeah.
They can't be reformed. Now, am I saying, are there some good white people out there? Yeah, there's some all right white folks out there. But here's the caveat though. For every white folk that you say, oh man, they all right, they cool, man, just bring up reparations to them. And usually 99.9% of the time that killed the whole argument. I was showing my guy that one day, right? I was working a job. It was a couple of years ago in the restaurant. And he tried to tell me, he like, man, we just gonna call this guy the owner Shaw, not his real name, but we gonna.
Did he look like that?
Yeah,
you said
similar.
You said
a little bit
reparations.
fatter, but similar.
You said reparations, and that's the look he gave you. Like, I mean, who's gonna pay for that?
No. So he like, man, no, man, he cool, man. See, man, that stuff old, man. You need to get up off of that. Woo woo. I said, okay, I'm finna prove to you right now, right? So he came in one day. I said, hey man, Sean, what you think about reparations? You know the first thing he said?
Huh.
Not out my tax dollars.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I said, oh bro, I said, hey, I thought he was so cool.
Yeah.
He was so cool just a second ago.
Yeah.
I said, bro, but he don't have no problem with his tax dollars going over there to them Cranians, to them Canadians. He
Canadians.
ain't got no problem with that then.
Nope. Perfectly okay with it.
And it's amazing how most of these people that are in politics, right? They salary only be about 75 to 100,000, maybe 150,000.
Yeah.
And they come in worth around that.
Yep.
But within 3-4 years, they millionaires. You like, hey man, hold up, something ain't adding up, bro. So yeah, man, like I said, man, ain't nothing you can do to reform them. There's only one thing, and I'm not advocating any kind of violence. I want to sit this disclaimer out there before somebody try to take my words.
Okay.
But the only thing that they understand is pain, suffering, and loss of resources and wealth. That's the only thing that understand. They don't understand anything. You can talk to them all day, but until something physically hurt them, then they understand. Until something affect that bread, then they start to understand.
Yeah.
But it's not an understanding because they understand what you're going through. It's an understanding because it's affecting them now.
Yeah, of course. That's literally what's happening right here. That's literally what's happening right here, right? It's like because he got a lot of blowback from, him just having that sit down conversation with Nick Fuentes, and there was a lot of, MAGA upheaval over that. I think a lot of people gave him a lot of grief for even having that guy on his platform, and I think that there is a lot of, the Canadians came out and were causing him, giving him that, showing him that belt. He was taking a butt kicking from the Canadians because of the schmanty schmementism that was being spewed or that they and so again, that's why we're even having this conversation in the first place. It wasn't black people that got off in his behind that made him start to talk with like he has some sense. It was the freaking fact that he was getting thumped by them Canadians.
You know who else?
Who else?
Your girl Candace Owens. I've been so listen. I've been enjoying them Canadians messing with her because she is so anti-black. I remember one time she said out of her mouth, because I remember somebody asked her, like, man, you always come at the black Americans like this.
Yup.
How come you don't come at Cardi B or something like that? She's like, no, she Caribbean. I can't do that. So now you done crossed the line and you done crossed them people that's really in power. You know what I'm saying? Them people, the same people that told Kanye, hey, Negro, hey, come get your $1 billion. We don't even want it in the bank. You got 24 hours to come get it, or we'll mail it to you in pallets.
Yep. Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now she's going through that. No, don't come back over to this side. Don't come back over to this side. Stay over there. And now white folks, not to take up the time, but white folks now have become second-class citizens to them Canadians. Them Canadians rule all to the point where if you cross them, they will make you go bye-bye.
Make you go bye-bye. Turn your money off. Turn you lose your job. You won't get admitted into college. They'll get you booted out of college.
You know what your boy really got assassinated for? Your boy JFK.
Yeah, trying to make them have to be set up as a foreign Yeah.
And also he said that they could not have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
And they was like, oh yeah, check this out.
Yeah. Pop, bang, bang, boom, pow. Yeah. What's up, Braxton? How you doing, sir?
What's up, y'all?
What's
good,
up,
gentlemen? Evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Braxton, you hurt my feelings, brother.
How?
cuz brother Braxton gonna talk about some, hey, I don't know you, sir. I said, oh yeah. He like, I've been up here for years. I said, oh yeah, you don't remember me? Oh, my feelings hurt. I only got about 2 of them and you hurt both of them.
Oh.
Oh well, it wasn't intentional, but that's my bad.
I know, bro. I'm just
Braxton
giving you some
crazy.
stuff, bro.
Hey, Braxton crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah,
so
but now I think I might kind of. Hold on. Was you on the panel for Halloween last month?
yeah, he was here.
Okay.
He was,
All right. Now
yeah,
I remember you. So yes,
yeah.
So that's my apologies.
And way back too, back in the earlier a couple years ago days. He was back in here all the time. But let's see, Jay got assassinated for bringing up a conspiracy. Yeah. Well, anyways, all I'm saying is I think it was just fascinating to hear, because it's just, again, they always say that the people that like to deny that there's a thing called systemic racism, or there is a system that enforces racism, these people that will deny these things, but then sit here and describe that exact thing when it's being employed against them. I mean, to the T. I've heard between him and this guy Tim Pool, they have explained systemic racism better than any black person I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is crazy. They really got it down. Shit, I should have been taking notes. It's fascinating because I mean, again, I listen to what these people say just because I want to hear what their excuses are. I want to hear what the arguments are, so on and so forth. Right. And just to hear out of their mouths, you know, what are the excuses they're using? What are the justifications for their behavior that they're using? You know, because we inevitably are going to hear it at the ground level some other time because some idiot is listening to him and he's like, okay, well, Tucker said, you know, so I got to hear what this guy said. And I literally fell out of my chair when I heard what this fool was saying. Braxton, have you ever seen a situation where have you been have you been alive long enough to see white folks kind of going after each other like this?
Well, okay. Well, since you asked me that question, well, age-wise, I'll be 32 this Sunday.
Okay.
So
happy early birthday.
Yeah,
birthday.
thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, and now though I have I have not been in existence for that long a time, but I got a little good minute on me, you know, but I'm still a young guy. But so far in my 31 years, yes, I have seen some cases, whether it be, you know, on video, online, you know, or in real time, you know, out and about, seeing white people not get along, you know, too much with one another, whether if they are, you know, Americans going at it, or if it's, you know, or if it's American versus a European white person, or if white people are from like the same neighborhood, whether it'll be, you know, a low income neighborhood or a higher income neighborhood. I see them not too much get along like that, because when they say, because I always make a joke saying, I made a joke, it was some years back, I actually even joked with some white people saying, well, I told them, when y'all say y'all hate each other, or if y'all hate someone, y'all really mean it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah,
But see, even because they even hate you, they generally won't even tell you if they hate you. Generally, they just act it. You know what I'm saying? If they actually say it to your face, and yeah, you're probably right.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, George Bush's father was the creator of the CIA, and I believe they had a lot of connections with a bunch of Canadians and such, and they did a lot of shenanigans in Europe in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. In fact, I believe the Small Mustache Man, they actually helped bankroll his the WW2.
Yes.
So Prescott Bush, I think that's his name, Prescott Bush. Yeah. So I think the majority of their money, I believe they tried to say, or I believe they act as though it was oil where they got their money from, but I believe that they got their money from selling arms to the Germans, to the Yazis. If I you know, whatever. But anyways, I thought that was
that was crazy. Tell look that up.
Yeah.
That was conspiracy theory. They'll look it up, but they'll win in hell, man.
Yeah, man. Well, that's why I think that it's now it all makes sense as to why we're trying to fight the Ruskies so hard right now. It's because in our DNA is actually Yahtzee people.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Crazy,
like the
man.
real ones. You were gonna say something?
No, I was just saying that if you ever notice, even in their history, when either the melanated people are not involved or are nowhere around, they turn on each other.
Mm-hmm.
In their history, in the past, before they really got to travel in the world, all of those Euro states were doing each other in bogus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until they got to traveling and they realized, hey, we a minority.
Yeah.
We need to stick together because everything else on the planet got some color to it.
Yeah. And we can exploit them. Go ahead, Braxton. Were you gonna say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, and also Alvin, that awesome video from Tanya TKO I was telling you last night. I put the link right here in the back chat, and so if you do have time tonight to play in your stream, cool. And if not, you can play it again in your next stream.
Okay.
And yeah, and to you, Izza, to make you feel better, if you was here, I'll be sharing this with you. If anybody want to know what I'm munching on right now, is these Pringles.
Which ones are those? Is that sour
This
cream?
is this is the cheddar sour cream and onion.
Cheddar, sour cream, and onion. Okay. I bet your breath is humming.
Yes.
That's okay.
Well, somewhat, because I got water to cut it with. So
Okay. Here, look, we might, because I don't want to take this too long, and I want to get this bad boy under 2 hours, and we're right on the money. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let's hear what this now, man. She stopped wearing the wig, huh?
I don't know.
Good for her. Well, no, because she was always talking smack, and she look at that forehead. Goddamn. Okay. But these wigs be messing girls' hair up, dog. The wigs be messing their hair up. It's some messed up stuff. But let's hear what Miss Tanya TKO got to say, and we're gonna probably end it on this. Let's
Y'all
hear.
are going to love it.
Is there? Does she start off hot, or should I go a little bit further?
She comes in hot under like 4 or 5 seconds. It's quick.
Okay.
She comes in quick.
Let's see what you got to say here.
All right. Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here, and I'm in the middle of editing a video right now, but I just wanted to come out and make this video real quick. You know how you're multitasking and your brain is just rotating around and around on an idea. Recently, I've been talking a lot about race relations on my channel, and some of the comments that I get are from Nigerians in Nigeria who talk about how if they were in America, all of the wonderful and amazing things that they would be able to do if they were in America. If I were in America, I would be rich, I would be famous, I would be this, I would be that, because you Black Americans are lazy, you Black Americans are this, you're that, you love thug culture. I just got a comment the other day, and I commented back to the person about their colonial mindset. Hello, everybody. I am doing this live, but I am doing this just to get this idea out so that I could jump back into the video that I'm
here real fast. I'm sorry, I got to say this. Hey, Black women, please, let's figure out how to get your natural hair on point, please, like regular forehead and to get that so you don't fuck the hairline up, and just and regular hair, please. Like, cause I can't be romantic with a girl that's got a high top fade or a bald fade or that's got, you know what I'm saying? Or that's got like, wait, I can't look at a face like this with this kind of hair. I can't get romantic with that. I can't. You know what I'm saying? My thing, I can't, there's nothing, I don't care how pretty her face is. If I look up and I see these Brillo pads on her forehead or her 5 head or way back here, I can't, there's nothing I can do with that. I'm just saying,
Hey, Al,
please,
chat wilding. They wilding. That brother said full court or half court.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Thank you, Jesus. I'm just saying, God, black women, please. Okay, sorry. I just had to put that out there.
Editing because, listen, it's another day, another Karen. So I'm constantly having to battle Caucasians on one hand, and then now I have to battle Africans on the other. And you all know, listen, I love my Nigerian people. I am genetically Nigerian and Ghanaian. I just spent dirty December and just won't go home January in Ghana and Nigeria. And there's a pervasive thought that I continue to see over and over and over again. And that idea is that somehow there's something defunct and wrong with African Americans just because our trauma is different than your trauma. And as I was editing this video, I realized, listen, the only reason why your black ass would be able to come over to America and be able to do anything is because of the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the fighting, and the dedication of African Americans who on this soil changed this land. African Americans are the ones who got this country integrated. Let me explain something to you. White people in this country did not give us anything. We have had to take. And this is why you see what is going on in the news and the media right now. We took in the 1960s what it is that we had. We took their lynchings, their terrorizing, their burning down of our neighborhoods, and we continue to rebuild and revisit and retwist and re-rise up what it is that we have done in this country. And the only reason why anybody can bring their black ass over here for another mother effing country is because of what black Americans have done on this land. And I'm saying this as a person who is bicultural, whose father is not American, doggone it. My father is an immigrant, and he was able to come over to this country and do something in this country because of the black people who fought, who died, who bled, who were lynched on this land. So don't sit your black ass over there in some other goddamn country talking about what you would do in America. The only reason why your black ass can even get the F over here is because of what we have done. Doggone it. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. The reason why people are able to get onto the radios in America is because of what black Americans have done. The culture that we have created with nothing. Nothing. We have been given nothing. Everything that we have in this country, we have because we have taken. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. So don't sit your black ass over there in your country where you're not doing what you need to do with your government. If anything, you should feel inspired by African Americans. Inspired to pick up your picket sign and take your ass off your seat and go out there in the streets and protest in your damn land. Listen to what it is that I'm saying, because I was over there in Nigeria. I walked the streets of Lagos, Abuja, and where was it that I was? It was not Owerri. I was in... I'll just say Igbo land. I walked the streets and I saw what it was and I saw what it was like. And I talked to Nigerians, and part of the issue is that there is a docility that exists inside of the average Nigerian that I spoke to had a complacency and a docility that exists in there when it comes to their government. And then, right?
Docility.
The nerve of anyone to suggest that because of the type of trauma that you experience in your country, the type of brainwashing that you exist in your country is different than the type of trauma and brainwashing that we have existed in this country, that somehow that makes you better? No. Part of the reason that Nigeria looks the way that it is right now is because Europeans ran roughshod over that country. Europeans ran roughshod over Nigeria. Took down your symbols and put up their own, implanted you with their religion. Have you worshiping white skin.
Oh, shit.
And then after they sucked and siphoned from the country enough, then they started implanting the leaders that they wanted who would fulfill their white supremacist agenda. And so now you have government officials who don't give a good goddamn about the average Nigerian because they take their money and they put their money abroad and they leave you there without lights 24 hours a goddamn day. Meanwhile, they got lights. I've been to Banana Island. I see what rich Nigerians live like. Speaking of which, if I were to come to Nigeria with my American mindset, I would be rich in Nigeria because I'm not from Nigeria and I don't have the same type of indoctrination that Nigerians have. So when you start trying to say that you will come over to America and do all this and bravo, because you've been trained in a different way. If I went to Nigeria, listen, I was in Nigeria 3 weeks before I made it over to Banana Island. And when I spoke to one of my Nigerian friends, I didn't realize how difficult of a thing that is for the average Nigerian. So don't sit there and start talking about how you would do so much different. If anything, this is the time right now that we need to come together. Instead of being in your colonial programming and mindset, instead of that, release those shackles. Release those shackles and realize that what African Americans are doing and have done in this country is remarkable. It is revolutionary. We have changed this world, goddammit, because if it wasn't for African Americans, black people would still be in the goddamn zoo. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Listen.
I'm gonna go on ahead and in that right there. I want to thank all of you guys for coming and hanging out. I really truly appreciate it. I got to keep this bad boy up under 2 hours. Thank you, Braxton. Thank you, Issa, Broken Blade, my brother, everyone in the chat. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. And we're gonna catch you guys on the next one. We out. Peace.